What's up, guys? So today I got myself some toys from Harbor Freight. So first, let's take our receipt out. Let's put this off to the side here because we're going to reference that in a little bit here. Let's see what I got. I got a knife. I got a Gordon knife. All right. What else we got here? Oh, another knife. Another Gordon knife. How about that? And you guessed it, another knife from Gordon. All right, so this was pretty heavily requested. I got a bunch of messages when I first did my, the Buck 119 style knife from Harbor Freight, and people said, "Jeff, can you show us some folders?" Well, yeah, I can. All right, so there's the prices on these guys. All right, $747 for the tactical knife. That was this one here. All right. Then we have $6.99 for the skeletonized frame, which is here. And this is the most expensive one at $9.99, the drop point. All right. So I did want to check these guys out just to see what I thought of them. This is not going to be a full review. This is just a, hey, I'm going to be checking these out. I will do an update in the future after I use these. It's going to take a little while to cycle through because I have other knives I'm still testing and other ones I want to test. And this is kind of like maybe a little side project. I don't have a whole lot of faith in these, but some people are just on a budget. Some people don't have a budget. Some people are loaded, and they just don't care that much about knives. You know what I mean? It's not always about what you can afford and what you can't afford. I've said this multiple times over the years. You can make 6 figures a year and have a $5 knife in your pocket because you don't care that much about knives, but you do realize that it's a good tool to have on you, and vice versa. You could be in a very low income situation, very poverty level, and carry around a $400 knife if you wanted to. It's not because you can afford it, but it's because you prioritized and you saved your money and saved your money and saved your money. It took you a long time because you're in poverty, but you decided to prioritize that and save up and buy an expensive knife. Now, generally speaking, the more money you make, the more expensive stuff you buy, of course, but there's always exceptions to that rule. There's a couple people in particular, of course I'm not going to name them or anything, but they're on both sides of that spectrum. I talked to someone who's very well off, and once in a while they'll ask about gear and stuff, and they buy cheap stuff because they don't, they want to have it. And I try to convince them too, if you can afford better quality, you should probably buy better quality, but they just don't put priority on that. And vice versa, I've talked to people who, again, have very, very little money to spend on stuff, on gear and knives, but they do put a little priority on that, and they save up and they get something better quality. Now, across the board, whether you can afford it or not, we all know better quality tools just last longer. They're more enjoyable to use. They're more effective in most cases. When you're talking about knives, the cheapest knife in the world, yes, it's a sharp piece of metal. It'll probably open your Amazon packages fine. Okay, it just won't be enjoyable to use. It might break. It might be dangerous. That maybe there's a locking mechanism that fails and you cut yourself. Or maybe you just open 2 boxes and now it's dull. Now you're struggling and you're tearing them open. You might as well use your finger. So, there's all different types of knife people in this world. But anyway, I don't even know why I'm rambling on about that. It means nothing. So, let's look at these. Now, first off, clearly this is a copy of a Gerber Paraframe. All right, I've had multiple versions of this knife, all 3 sizes, I believe. I've probably had a dozen overall, and this was way back in the day. They're actually really affordable knives. You could probably find the actual Gerber one that may or may not perform better than this, I don't know, but this is just basically like just very, very similar to their knife. All right, just in case you don't know about the knife, I figured I'd show you. So you can see it's not a direct copy. Obviously the holes, the slots cut out are different. And it's one of those things too where there's so many knives, literally millions and millions and millions of knives out there. So eventually 2 different people are gonna have the same idea. It doesn't necessarily mean they're copying each other, but come on, it's close. It's close enough, right? So anyway, that's the Gerber Paraframe. By the way, the Gerber Paraframe is notorious for not locking properly. Again, most of the ones I've had have failed. The locks fail. You can, literally when it's open, you can just, close it without even touching the lock. So not a good knife. I definitely wouldn't recommend it. Although they're extremely popular. They were a Walmart favorite for many years. I don't even know if they still carry them there. Probably do. So anyway, this is basically a similar knife to that, we'll say. All right, made by Gordon. The little SKU number here is 57160, in case you want to look it up or something. They're saying it's a 3-inch blade, precision edge, lightweight frame, compact design, durable construction, folds easily. I'd love to meet some of the marketing people for this stuff. All right, so most important thing here, blade steel, 3 CR13, stainless steel, blade and handle construction. Blade and handle construction. So, the blade is the same metal as the handle. That's usually a pretty big red flag, okay? Because handle material like stainless steel, they usually use a much lesser quality because you don't need to use a very high quality steel for the handle. It's going to do its job. The cheapest steel handle is still going to work as a handle, right? Now I have had personal experience with 3 CR13 on some other more affordable knives, and you know, it's not going to impress anyone. But you know, these are generally sharp out of the box. It goes to the age-old saying, I've probably said this a million times since I started this YouTube channel, as long as you can sharpen your knives and maintain your edge, the blade steel doesn't matter. That being said, of course, we all want the premium steels. We all want the edge that stays sharp forever, right? So let's relate that to cars, since so many people have cars. The Ferrari will get you to work just like the Ford Taurus will get you to work, but the Ferrari is way more fun. So there you go. Hopefully that was a decent analogy. Skeletonized frame design, stainless steel handle, secure frame lock mechanism. Oh, we'll see about that. Some profile design. What else can we find out on here? Looking around, made in China for Harbor Freight. Here's some specs. 3 inches on our blade, 4.1 close, 7.1 open, and again 3 CR13. So that's pretty much it. Let's go ahead and tear into this guy. These weren't all the knives that were there. There's probably, I want to say there was like 2 more. I might even post a picture on Instagram of the selection there, but I didn't want to spend that much money. And I figured the other one, I forget why I didn't get the other ones, but I just wasn't interested. Oh, that's why. One of them was like, you know, super tactical, like it had the cutout in the handle for, you know, strap cutting, and it was like, so, I don't know, it was extra hokey. It's hard to explain. But anyway, here we go. Get rid of the garbage. Get rid of our little tip protector. All right. And so when people first take this out of the package, they'll cut themselves. That was very hard to close, by the way. Yeah. This is super stiff. I don't know how to explain that. Get that across in video. Like, it's very, very tight. The pivot is super, super tight. And conveniently for us, well, all right, the pivot, looks like the pivot is going right through the screw, which is interesting, but I might loosen that a little. As long as I don't get blade play. Let's see the lockup. Lockup's okay. It's like 99.9%. I feel when I'm, you know, really tugging on it, I feel just a tiny bit, little hair play there. All right, there's a frame lock. Just super, super, super tight. All right, there's no way, even with a, oh, there we go. Ton of wrist in there. All right, so if you're a baseball player, like a pitcher or something, you might be able to swing that open. And then of course there's lock stick. There we go. So pop. All right, so obviously it's not that impressive out of the box. You can see it is tip down only. Pocket clip seems fine. All right, dual thumb studs. Let's try opening it with thumb stud instead of the flipper. Yeah, I guess a little better. I'd probably do that because it's possible. The flipper is not really possible out of the packaging here. All right, so there's one. Let's move on. So Gordon Challenger, drop point tactical knife. I don't know if I messed up. This one says drop point, so maybe I swapped the prices on accident. All right, so maybe this one, I don't know. I'm confused now. You can check their website to see which one was $9.99 and which one was $7.47. I want to say this is the cheaper one, so I'm going to stick with that. But anyway, so drop point tactical knife, fast deployment thumb stud, and finger flip opening. Finger flip opening, cool. So this one is an 8 CR13 MOV, definitely a little bit of an upgrade. Plenty of experience with 8 CR13 MOV. It's on a ton of knives, a ton. And honestly, it's okay. It's okay, especially for this price. But just so many knives out there, and it's okay, it's fine. 3 times sharper, longer. Yeah, probably than this knife. I would believe that. Ultralight reinforced G10 composite handle with non-slip texture grip, fully ambidextrous. Fully ambidextrous, we'll see about that. Actually, through the packaging, I can kind of see this is tapped. Both sides here. We'll see about the back. Anywho, you can read all that stuff if you want there. I'm getting closer. There we go. So you can read all that if you like. And you can read all that if you like. This one is, I'll read the specs to you real quick. 3.6 on the blade length, 4.2 on the close length, and it weighs 3.4 ounces. And the SKU on this one, 63168. All right, so let's pop this guy out. They have the pocket clips kind of exposed. All right. Which kind of make it a little more difficult to actually open. I know you're thinking, Jeff, why don't you use a knife to open these? Well, because I'm just ripping them open. That's fine. It's not always necessary to use a knife. You didn't hear me say that. All right. So, let's try this flipper. Oh yeah, night and day. Wow. Okay, this one's a liner lock. Actually flips out very nice. Ooh, it's comfy. Oh, I don't know. I like this one. I like this. This is kind of impressive already. I have to say, for less than 10 bucks, I really like the texture on the handle scales here. It's kind of an aggressive G10. It's really, really nicely done. I got to come in close so you can see that. It's nice. It's actually giving me grip. All right, let's back out here. So, I don't feel any hot spots or anything on here. Jimping on the handle as well as the blade, kind of medium. It's not really grabbing the thumb much, at least on the spine of the blade. On the handle, a little bit. But interesting. All right, there's the lock up. Again, liner lock. Let's try the thumb studs. Yeah, it's pretty smooth. No blade play. That's a huge bonus. I'm into that. Not into the combo edge. I forget. Does this one have a combo edge? I forgot already. No, it doesn't. All right. Yeah, so pocket clip out of the package here. You can see it is right side tip down, but it is drilled and tapped for all 4 positions. Does have an ambidextrous thumb stud as well. So this is truly ambidextrous, just like the package said. So here's a closer look at this. The serrations, again, I'm not super into combo edges, although I can appreciate that the scallops are very wide on here. Of course, the little ones aren't, but I don't think that's too bad as far as cheaper serrations go. I think that's a-okay. So yeah, this is actually really comfortable. I have to say, so far, this is literally like night and day. Like I would totally use this. This one, I would be very sad if I had to use that knife, which I am going to be when I do my testing. Very impressed, but we're going to move on here. So Gordon, 3.6-inch blade. This one's also an 8CR13 MOV stainless steel. All right, smooth ball bearing pivot. So this one's running on a pivot system. That's pretty interesting. Durable composite handle, liner lock secures blade, drop point blade design. All right, folds easily. Yeah. This one is 57584. All right, so 3.6 inches on our blade. Close is 4.2. Overall is 7. And our blade again, 8CR13 MOV. Drop point blade. Blah, 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 blah. All right, cool. Go ahead and dig in. Let's peel this open. It's like feel like Christmas here. All these knives. Okay. Well, see, kind of interesting how they have the pocket. This one has a pocket clip protector. I don't know what that's about. But I just shut that across the room. No, I didn't. It's right here by my foot. So that's, I don't know why they did that. Okay, maybe just to protect it from scratching things since it was in the package. All right, so this one, just gripping it just like this. I'm feeling a hot spot down here, and I don't know, it's because the scale is not lined up totally with the liner. You guys can see that the scale pushes out past the liner just a little bit, and that's sharp. That's sharp there. Nothing a little sandpaper can't take care of. Not the end of the world, but compared to this one was this one's pretty sweet right out of the box. No No hot spot here, even though this one's doing the same thing, but it's like smoothed out or rounded. All right, see how that, the focus. Yeah, see the liner, it's not perfect with the scale. The scale sticks out just a little bit on both sides. But I didn't feel that on this one at all. I do like the texture on this one a little bit more. So, liner lock, great lockup, no problem there. This one is plain edge, which is nice. All right, and actually feels pretty sharp. Pretty sharp out of the box. Let's go ahead and cut some of this packaging. All right, first cut test. Yeah, not bad at all, actually. Let's go ahead and use this one. Grab a little piece cardboard here. Yeah, not too shabby. Let's go ahead and grab this one, which I'm going to use two hands to open because that's annoying. I mean, it's sharp enough, but there's definitely way more resistance on that one. Okay. Got all this mess to clean up later. All right, so where are we? We are on this one. Yeah, liner lock, the locks felt good. This one is also tapped for all four positions, although it comes tip down right side carry. All right, close up of this. Again, simpler scale, not nearly as textured or anything. Dual thumb stud, so it is ambidextrous, especially with the flipper. But the thumb stud's obviously on both sides, so if you are lefty, you can totally swap the clip over. So let's see, this one is supposed to have a bearing system. It is pretty smooth. All right, I believe it is running on a bearing system. However, like compared to this one, it apparently doesn't. I can feel a little bit more friction. I could see those white washers in there, little Teflon washers. But this one shoots out fine. There's no problem with that. Like this one, when you're putting it in, you do feel like a little more resistance as opposed to this one, which is very easy to push in and out, so you can tell that there's a bearing system there. But this one is just as effective. I mean, it pops out fast. It's not hard to close or anything. All right, so yeah, I mean, I wish that one had the bearing system and the plain edge blade, to be honest, because I'm loving the texture that's on here, and just the overall feel is really good. Now, if we compare these together to each other, they are extremely similar. In fact, they are basically two different versions of the same knife. The more I'm looking at it, they really look identical. Just, you know, obviously this one's combo edge, this one has the textured handle. Other than that, they're the same. Even these cutouts here, these like relief cuts. So yeah, pretty much the same design, just two different flavors of it. They have the same blade steel as well. Pocket clips, yeah, they're the same too. All right, so very interesting here. Just initial impressions, this one, I would just totally pass this up. I mean, I'm going to test this out and stuff, but I know what's going to happen. I just kind of think it sucks. These, however, for the extra couple bucks, this one I'm just really liking. If I didn't feel the hot spot on this one, I'd be equally as excited because it's plain edge and the bearing system. Which also leads me to believe that that is the $9.99 one because of the additional hardware. So yeah, that's just my initial impressions on some of these Gordon folders from Harbor Freight. So stay tuned. I don't know when. It might be weeks or months, but I'll eventually, I'll make sure that I use these guys and set them aside. Maybe I'll take some notes so I don't forget. And I'll do an update video, basically a review, all three of them together. But yeah, if you guys have any experience with these Harbor Freight folders, let me know what you thought of yours. And that's pretty much it. So yeah, I mean, just based off of just initial impressions, this one's fine. It's totally fine. I mean, for 10 bucks, you know, it's a $10 knife. You want to buy it in person, you have a Harbor Freight by you, you're there buying something else. Why not? Throw it in there. It's a fun little beater. This one's actually pretty impressive. I just really like the way this feels. So much so that I would take the combo edge over the plain edge, even though they're basically the same blade. They're probably literally the same blade. You can see the dual thumb studs are identical, so the hardware, everything is identical, really. I would totally just pass this up. I wouldn't bother with it, even though it's all metal. It's a nice design. It looks nice. You know, it looks like it'd be more of a premium knife than these, but it's not. The blade steel is, you know, definitely leaves something to be desired. I would just pass it up. The fact that this was so stiff, you know, out of the box or package here, it just would not be enjoyable. I am going to play around with it. I'm going to see if I can loosen that pivot a little, but I don't want blade play, so that I'm just I'm worried that's what's going to happen. Once I get it to where I can just flick it out and it's nice and smooth, then it's just going to flop around. And what's the point of that, right? But yeah, these were pretty darn impressive. I dig it. So that's it for now. Thanks for watching, guys. Hope you have an awesome day, and I'll see you tomorrow with a brand new video. Take care.